Hey, time to shine. Varsity Squad is Scott Ferguson, and I got a awesome treat for you today. I got my brother, Adam Bird from Heroes Media Group. And one thing that everybody that kind of listens to the podcast knows that I'm a veteran, did my time, if you will, between 1990 and 1995 in the military, overseas quite a bit in Somalia, Afghanistan, Iraq. And what I have here with my good friend now, Adam Bird, is he is one of the founders of Heroes Media Group, and they really step up and they provide phenomenal programs to help my fellow veterans level up, and everything from book publishing, audio-visual transcriptions, audio-visual editing, podcast production, social media content marketing strategies and services. And he just has a whole kind of a one-stop shop for veterans that want to get their voice heard, and he's fantastic. And Adam is the founder and chief executive officer of Heroes Media Group. He's an experienced entrepreneur and leader in building companies, educating, training, and mentoring and empowering teams to success. Huge credentials from my friend. Welcome to the show, Adam. If you could come on, introduce yourself real quick, say hi to the squad. But first, what is your favorite color and why?
Blue.
Why?
Yeah. Peaceful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have this thing right here. It's called the Atlantic Ocean, and it's kind of blue. The only thing is the beach Nazis really won't let us on because the people that are listening to this now, it might be over with by the time, or we're coming out of the COVID, but I think we're about like day 9,260 or something in our stuff. And Adam's graced me with some time to come on here and drop some solid knowledge nuggets on everybody. So Adam, give me the origins. Let's take it back to the military days and how you rolled forward into starting Heroes Media Group.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on. So I joined the National Guard, right? Got out of high school, did a year of college, ran out of money, and was like, oh, man, I guess this military thing might work. But I didn't want to do like the everyday yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am thing. At the time, my mindset was I want the best of both worlds. So I joined the National Guard, went to basic, and came back and did several, my background's more business, marketing, and education. And then throughout the years, I landed a few Fortune 500 companies that I worked for, moved up pretty quickly in those companies. And then around 2013, we're going to fast forward. So I joined the military in 98, got out in 07. And around 2013, it was April 1st. It was April Fool's Day. I walked into the corporate job and I said, I quit. And I turned around and walked out. And I've never done that before. I'm usually pretty professional, and it's not something that I'm necessarily proud of, but it was at the time there was so many months of just build up, and it was time for me to just do my own thing. And I had started a company similar to Heroes Media Group at the time. Had a partner at the time, and ran that for about 3.5 years. And then we separated, went our own ways. Next day, filed paperwork for Heroes Media Group, and then that will be 5 years this September. September 2020 will be our 5-year anniversary for Heroes.
So what was that aha moment that was like, man, I'm just going to walk in, leave, make this
happen?
A
lot of it was so the job that I was at the time, I was working for a university. And prior to that, for about 5 years, I worked for a big university, online school, who will remain nameless right now. But I was kind of one of the big wigs in their military division there. And everybody at this new university knew who I was. So when I walked in, they were like, oh, he's going to move up. And I didn't want to be in management. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. I just wanted to show up, do my job, and leave. Kind of like take the easy route, I guess you could say.
Sure. My
manager knew all of that, so he took advantage of it. And he'd have like these one-on-ones with me, and for a while it'd be on a bi-weekly basis. And then the very next day we'd have a team meeting, and he went over everything that I told him to go over and how to do the next day. And I was like, this is
bullshit. You're fine.
This is bullshit. Like I'm not doing this. So I started showing up late. I was taking extra lunches. Like I literally was getting away with murder. And nobody would, and they weren't, holding any discipline towards me because I was in the top 3% of the entire company when it
Right.
came to enrollments and stuff. So I just said, I'm done with this. And
Right.
my son is my biggest motivation. I was a single parent for 15 years. My son was the kind of the driving force. I didn't want to have to ask somebody's permission to go to my son's football game or to a school event or anything like that. So I was just like,
you already did like 9 years of we call it time. When we're in, sometimes it's a love-hate relationship in the military, right?
oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like drop the hat, we got to go.
Yeah.
And so it must have felt pretty nice to be able to walk into some place and be like, later, because you could never do that. Even though as much as we both feel that we hold ourselves to a higher level of professionalism,
right.
It must have felt really good. And you did it for the right reasons, right?
Well, I know I did it for the right reasons, but the very next day I was like, like, what did I do?
Right.
Because I had no plan.
Right.
I was doing my side hustle as a part-time thing on the weekends, and I was just like, well, I guess the side hustle just became the full-time hustle. And I haven't looked back, and it's been I've been blessed. I've been blessed.
And what did your family think about that? Kind of walking away from this and then walking and really ramping up Heroes Media Group?
At first they were just like, maybe you should have talked to us about it. I don't know what the hell I need to talk to you about it for. I don't need your permission. I'm a grown ass man. Like I do my own stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, well, then you're just gonna have to suffer through it. And I did it for the longest time. There was the support system, in my opinion, was somewhat questionable, but they were there. And honestly, Scott, a couple years into even Heroes Media Group, there was a time where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna quit this and just go back to corporate America because
really, okay,
yeah, oh yeah, it was one of those kind of woe is me. I'm human. You have those moments.
We all have it.
So I love telling the story. I went to my dad, and he's very like, go get a job, work at 30 years, retire, travel, die, kind of a thing, right?
Right.
And he's very old school. So I'm thinking, like, I'm going to go to my dad. I'll tell him how I'm feeling because I know he's going to tell me you should just go back to corporate.
Go back to that safety. Right?
I will never forget. We're sitting at the bar, we're having a drink, and I look at him and I say, yeah, I'm thinking about just quitting everything, shutting it down and just going back to corporate America. And he's just like, really? I said, yeah. I was like, what do you think? He's like, I think that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And that'd be a horrible mistake.
Wow.
Wait, what time out? Like, what
who are you?
talking about? He's like, you're onto something. And he's like, and me and your mom see that you're happy and that you're doing something special.
Yeah.
He said, honestly, I think you'd be making a big, like complete 180 what I was expecting. And that was actually really kind of a big kind of kick in the pants to really keep it going. Like if my dad, I always was kind of hard to please growing up, if he believed in what I was doing, then I knew I was onto something special.
Huge. Yeah, because he's wanting to like protect you, but kind of scrutinize every move that you make while he's feeling he's protecting you. But he gave you the green light. It must have been like, let's go.
He was like, dude, no, you're not doing that. You can't do that.
What does Heroes Media Group do to really help people level up?
So here's the thing. Here, the concept of Heroes Media Group, first off, you got to define heroes. Heroes are heroes and heroes in the community, right? Military, veterans, firefighters, first responders.
Love it.
Educators, because teachers, they don't get the respect that they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a clergy piece. Now, if you don't believe in God or whatnot, we don't hold that against you. That's fine. Universe, whatever. But for me personally, I grew up going to church, so I threw that in, and I can do that because I own the company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, we wanted to create a positive environment. I think a lot of people would agree that you can go on, turn on your TV, turn on your terrestrial radio in your car, and you get a lot of negativity.
Sure.
We want a positive. I want to hear the positive stories. Let's share the positive stories. And that's kind of how it started. It started off as a podcasting platform. I brought in 3-4 shows from the old platform onto this. We went from 3-4 shows. We're up to somewhere around 40 now. And then, we got in the transcription for podcasters, and we got other clients doing that. But ultimately, the goal will be, I want to change how media is delivered and how it's consumed.
Okay.
Not necessarily change like what we're doing right now, like you and I on the computer or anything like that. I want to change the message behind it. I get that bad things happen. and that stuff's got to be reported. But what you're not seeing when 90% of the media is reporting on negative stuff, man, throw us a positive story in there.
Right.
Like
Yeah, these news,
every 5 stories, throw a good one in there for crying out loud. Like,
exactly. They wait till the very end,
yeah.
to send
And
you
by
off
then you're just
feeling
like, oh
dismal.
my God.
I know. You're like, dude.
Why is everybody drinking all of a sudden? I don't know. So,
Gotcha. So what do you think would make a great leader then?
oh man, great question. I think a great leader is not only somebody that can show people what the ultimate mission or what the goal is, but a great leader's got to be able to listen to their people as well and build them up. I have a friend of mine kind of recently gave me an analogy of, you think of a leader, and if you compare it to like a pyramid, usually the leader's on top looking down on everybody else. And
Right.
I look at it like the guy that's got the world on his back, like he's holding everybody up. I think a leader kind of holds everybody up, and as a leader, it's your job to make everybody better so they can proceed and move forward with the things that they want to accomplish.
So the pyramid should be the leader on the bottom, the foundation almost, right?
Yeah.
As you walk in, people want to kind of like race to the bottom in a sense,
Right.
like Seth Godin might say.
Yeah.
So what kind of, during this, you kind of alluded to some stuff where you just didn't really feel like doing anymore, but is there any other, like maybe even in your whole life, any fail that you might have came across where you failed forward, where you pushed through, whether you need to get help or not? Is there anything that you want to share with how you can level up? Because my listeners like to hear this. It's great.
You know what? With my history, I quit everything in high school and everything like that. So the first time that I consider where I actually succeeded was in the military, going through boot camp and like doing it. Cause that was like one of those, like, I'm not going to, you see people are like, oh, I just want to get out. And they they don't make it a week.
Mm-hmm.
I made it through the whole thing. So for me, that was a big confidence thing. The level up, or what I call my leap of faith, happened April 1st of 2013 is when I decided to quit corporate America, and I went full bore and I believed in myself. That was a fail because I look at it as a failure because I was not set up. I didn't have any money in the bank. I didn't plan this out. I just woke up that morning, was just like, done. Right. And and then it was just like, how do I get clients? Some stayed, some didn't. I tried to fail as often as I could moving forward, so I can
go. Yeah.
Forward as fast as I can. And you learn from those mistakes.
Yeah, I love that. So let's get into our DeLorean with Marty McFly, right? We're cruising back in time.
Yeah.
We meet up with that 22-year-old Adam Bird. What kind of knowledge nuggets are you dropping on him?
Man, first off, have faith. Believe in yourself, have faith, and learn as much as you possibly can. I was not I had a learning disability growing up, so I was not I couldn't read and comprehend. So I would have to either do or listen. Like I listened to a lot of audiobooks.
Sure.
At that time in my life, it was all about going out, partying, and doing whatever. If I could go back, I would learn another language. I would learn a different skill set. I would continue to learn as much as you possibly can. Never stop learning. And more importantly, if you are doing something or you have a goal, at 22 years old, I didn't have a goal. First off, have a goal, have a purpose. Let me rephrase that. Have a purpose and don't chase the dollar. Money is cool to have, and it's great when the bills are around. If you chase the dollar because that's all that's important to you, you're going to chase the dollar the rest of your life. Have a purpose. Have a purpose that means something to you, because if you have that purpose, profit will always follow.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, very well said. I mean, even during this time, this COVID thing is a great equalizer, right? It's like you can have bank.
Yeah.
You still aren't going in. Someone's not asking you how you want your steak prepared and bring it to your table. It doesn't matter. That's great. I love that. Learn and ask. Never stop learning. Have faith and believe in yourself. That's fantastic. So you went through different kind of phases of your life. You've accomplished a lot, but what's the big thing, big thing that Adam wants to accomplish?
You know what? It's It's a hard question for me to answer, and let me tell you why. I'm the type of guy that sets unrealistic goals.
Love
Meaning, and the reason why it's like the goal that I have set right now is to turn this company into $1 billion company. Will I ever see that in my lifetime? It'd be great if I did, but if I do, that means that I didn't set the goal high enough.
Right.
I should never be able to see my goal the big goal come to fruition, because I wake up every
Right.
morning and it gives me something to chase. I'm always chasing something. So I have a bunch, Scott, of daily goals and stuff like that
Sure.
lead me to the overall goal. But I would say right now, the overall goal is to change people's mindset to help change the world to be a more positive and better place.
And that's by
It probably sounds a little cliche-ish, but
no, you're fine. But you're doing it in a way that makes sense, Adam, where, you're making a change to how media is consumed and delivered,
right.
where you're putting the good out in front. And that's what we do here at Time to Shine today, where we don't allow any of the negativity. We set high goals, but we also know that the daily goals, what you just said, are very important. We're kind of inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard.
Yeah.
All my sports fans out there, keep getting first downs. That way you don't have to throw the Hail Mary.
Right.
And so it's kind of like that, which I appreciate you kind of agreeing in a sense with me, which some people don't, which is that's fantastic. So we all talk about here at Time to Shine today the dash on your headstone, man. You have your birth date, your death date, and that dash is in the middle. That's your story, man. How do you want to be remembered in that story, bro? That dash. What do you want people to remember about that dash?
Man, that's I just think I want people to remember me as he was a good person with a big heart that wanted to that actually cared about other people and wanted to see them succeed.
Love it. Total go-giver, pull forward. That's fantastic. Adam, if you could be one age for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Man, I'd say 40.
40 is a great age, man.
40,
you're not up there. May I
year.
ask how old you are?
I'm 42 now.
42. I'm 48.
Yeah, and even in the last 2 years, I'm starting to feel a little.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, keep walking. By the way, folks, this guy's walking like 4 days. I mean, even during the COVID, he's still getting after it. I mean, I'm 48, and I'm the same way. It's like we're staying in the same generational time frame.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So let's remove your cell phone, your mic, everything out of it. What are 3 things Adam cannot live without?
Ooh, nature.
Okay.
Can't live without nature. Lemon meringue pie.
Mine's chicken wings on the food side.
And I you know what? I'd have to say my son.
There you go. I was waiting for that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, Adam, what is how do I ask this? What's your definition of a life well lived?
I think a life well lived is a life that you can wake up, and if you're happy and you realize that some days you're going to struggle, and other days, some days are better than others. A life well lived is a life that you personally feel like has been fulfilling.
Love it.
You can't put it really, because that what you're asking is going to be custom to anybody, right?
Sure.
Like when people ask me, how do I define this success?
Success, right? Yeah.
I define success as every little thing that I set out to accomplish that day. That means I was successful.
Love it. You're breaking it down into mini micro goals and working your way up.
But you have to, because what happens is a lot of people are like, oh man, like you take that analogy as like, you see the staircase and you think,
yeah,
that's 100 flights of stairs. Well, you're never going to get to the top unless you take that first step, right? That's all you got to do is just baby step it all the way up. There's no time limit. No time limit.
There's none.
Just start moving forward.
Right. You don't know what God's going to do. You don't know if he plans to take you in a car wreck or a plane crash. You don't know.
I'm so glad. And I want to elaborate on that, because here's the thing. We already know what the end result is going to be. We just don't know when that end result, when that time is going to come. Right. Live life each and every day to the fullest.
Right.
Wait, when I get up in the morning, before my feet even hit the ground, I put a smile on my face.
There you go.
I'm gonna set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
Granted, other things happen throughout the day where that smile might turn into a
What
but
they call it, resting bitch face.
yeah, pretty much.
I'll tell you what, if you see Adam, you see him. He has that scowl, man. It's like, I don't know if you want to mess with this guy.
I have that permanent scar. Yeah, I got the line in my forehead. But man, listen, for your listeners out there, if you're thinking about doing a life change or whatever, just start. Don't there's no, if you wait, well, I got to wait for the perfect time. Bull. There's no perfect time.
Right.
The time is right now.
That's it. They say also, like I saw in the movie, of course, but they say also about life is not to take it too seriously because you'll never make it out alive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
have fun.
We're all dead. We're all going to die, man. So might as well have fun. And what you said, putting a smile on your face and getting after it, that's where it all starts. You're grateful.
Right.
So, Adam, as we kind of wind things down a little bit, we do what's called our level up lightning round, all right? So you and I could talk 15, 20 minutes on this, but my producer's holding me to 5-second answers. They're easy questions.
Gotcha.
Kind of like dig in a little bit deeper into Adam. You ready to rock?
Go.
What's the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
Get started. Jump.
Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
I write a list out every day that I want to get accomplished.
Gotcha. Love that. Yeah, you break it down. Other than your website, Heroes Media Group, and of course, TimeToShineToday.com, my shameless plug. Recommend to us an internet resource that you like to go to level up.
Oh, anything with Gary V.
Oh yeah, love him. What's your most commonly used emoji?
Smiley face.
Love it. Your favorite charity and or organization you'd like to give your time and or money to?
Oh man, there's so many of them. Like really, I sit on the board of several of them. You got Gallant Few, Warfighter Ranch. I'll name those two. There's a half a dozen others that I could get into.
That's awesome. Last question. What is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
80s.
Love it. There you go. We can definitely hang. Awesome. Adam, how can we find you, brother?
Hey, it's real simple. Go to www.heroesmediagroup.com. You can find me personally on all of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Mr. Adam Bird.
Mr. Adam Bird. Love it. And all that stuff will be in the show notes, my squad. And Adam, do us a favor and leave us with one last knowledge nugget you want to drop on the listeners, the squad, that you want them to take with them, internalize, and start right now.
I would say smile a lot, make someone laugh, and know that someone cares.
Love that. Hey, squad, we just had a masterclass with my good friend Adam Bird, who is smiling. He's actually smiling right now. He rocked the mic. He believes in listening and building up people. Have faith, believe in yourself, learn, and never stop learning, and always ask. Like we say here, get your ask in gear. Always ask, always level up. Wake up every day happy and move forward and break your goals down. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard. We like to go inch by inch and work towards that big goal. Adam takes care of his health. He levels up his wealth. He's fantastic father, fantastic family man. He does a ton for our first responders, nurses, doctors, clergy. It's fantastic. Adam, you're part of our squad now. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, man.
Talk soon.